Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for another office hours training. I'm Crystal Gunn, your financial strategist and small business advisor. Part of my job as a strategist, be it on the business side or the personal side, is to help you create a solid financial relationship and or a strong business base or foundation on which you can grow. I also help you to have some aha moments, self-discovery moments, helping you see what no longer serves you so that you can release it and soar. All that helps with the breakthroughs. That's where you start to shift. That's where the magic happens, be it in your personal finances or your overall business. It's Thursday, so let's talk estate planning today. Specifically today, POAs, powers of attorney. And I get phone call after phone call from people needing powers of attorneys for a loved one, right? But the problem always is the call comes too late. The person is now incapacitated in some way and cannot sign a power of attorney. So the person making the phone call to me, there's no resolution. They can't do what they need to do to take care of the person because they don't have that power of attorney. So part of my push is 3,003 years, helping 3,000 families get wills, life insurance policies, and powers of attorneys. Why? Because we're not covered. So what is a power of attorney? So the real technical definition is a power of attorney, a POA, is a legal document that grants one person or entity known as the agent or attorney in fact the authority to act on behalf of another person called the principal. This authority can cover a wide range of activities, including financial transactions, medical decisions, and legal affairs. The scope and duration of the powers granted can vary and are specified in the POA document itself. Powers of attorney are used to ensure that a person's wishes and responsibilities are taken care of when they are unable to manage them personally due to illness, absence, or incapacity. In its easiest terms, a power of attorney is a legal paper that lets one person give another person the power to make decisions for them. This can include handling money, making healthcare choices, or taking care of legal matters. The person giving this power can do a lot or just a few specific things, depending on what the document states. This is used to make sure someone can help take care of things if the person who made the document can't do it themselves because they are not around, they are sick, or unable to make decisions. So today, let's talk about a financial power of attorney, which lets one person give another person the power to make financial decisions for them if they are unable to manage their financial affairs personally due to absence, illness, or incapacity. So 3 examples, right? So in the case of absence, Tamika is a military officer who is deployed overseas for 6 months. She sets up a financial power of attorney before she leaves to allow John, her brother, to manage her financial affairs back home. This includes paying her bills, managing her investments, and handling any property maintenance. In the case of illness, here's an example. Marcus is diagnosed with a serious illness that requires long-term hospitalization and intensive treatment. Before he starts the treatment and the hospitalization, he grants a financial POA to his spouse, Lisa, enabling her to handle his banking transactions, manage his investments, and making sure all of his financial obligations like mortgage payments and insurance premiums are met during his recovery. In this example, the diagnosis came and Marcus was physically and mentally able to sign a POA at that time. But unfortunately, being physically and mentally able to sign a POA is not always the case. In the case of incapacity, after a severe accident, Tracy becomes physically and mentally incapacitated and is unable to communicate or make decisions. Prior to her accident, just in general, prior to her accident, she had established a durable financial power of attorney, designating her daughter, Anna, as her agent. Anna now steps in to take care of Tracy's financial matters, such as accessing her bank account to pay for medical expenses and managing her retirement funds. 3 different examples, with 2 of the examples allowing for time to sign a POA, but we never know when a POA will be needed because we never know when a POA is needed and will we be able to sign, right? So financial power of attorney is a good idea now so that if needed, it's already in place. Again, you don't want to wait until you or a loved one actually needs that POA, but they can't sign, right? So next week, I'll talk more about what goes into a financial POA and why you should have this instead of having someone on your bank account with you outside of your spouse, right? So, what's my favorite thing for today? Can you guess? It is a power of attorney, right? Again, so many reasons why to have that power of attorney. Today, specifically talking about financial. I had a call when there was someone in the hospital and they did not have the ability, they could not sign a financial power of attorney. And his bills needed to be paid, mortgage payments, utilities, car payments, all of the things still needed to be paid. And no one could do it. They couldn't get access to the money in his bank account. And there was more than enough money in that bank account to do so. But they couldn't get access to that money in that bank account because there was no power of attorney in place, right? So you just want to make sure that you have things in place before you need them, right? It's one of those things where they say, you know what, if you're already ready, you don't have to get ready because sometimes you can't get ready and we never know the day or the hour. So that financial power of attorney is my favorite. And we know life is all about elevation, next steps, right? All of this type of stuff, especially when you talk about estate planning, can be overwhelming because when you're talking about it, you really have to look at, your own thought of mortality comes up, right? So it can be hard and it can be difficult to have the conversations, but the conversations are truly needed. And you don't have to continue to have the conversations over and over again, but you do need to plan. And I'm a firm believer that it's irresponsible to leave the people that are grieving for you if something happens to you or if something fatal happens to you. And now they have to figure things out. It makes more sense, especially, it's an expression of love if you are taking care of the individuals that you are leaving behind, or if you are taking care of the individuals that would care for you if you are incapacitated and cannot care for yourself, right? So let's get to some next steps. Do you have oh, do you have a POA? Or do you have POAs in place currently? Um, if so, review them to see if you need to create new ones. One of the other things that happens a lot is, be it with wills, life insurance, and POAs, the person or people who were designated as beneficiaries, or in POA's cases, the primary agent, or even the alternate agent, it needs to be changed or updated, right? Primary agent is no longer around for whatever reason, or the primary beneficiary is no longer around, again, for whatever reason, or it's just time to change. Something has happened. your wishes have changed, whatever it is. So if you currently have a power of attorney in place, review them to see if you need to create new ones. You may want to make sure you have a primary agent and an alternate agent, because that alternate agent on that POA is used if the primary agent cannot be found or is no longer living. Second thing, have the conversation with whomever you date as your agent in your POA. You want to make sure they can comply with your wishes, right? And so it's nothing worse than someone being designated as the agent in a POA, and then now that POA is actually necessary because the person is incapacitated. But what the person wants when they wrote that POA is not what the agent wants to do. So the person who wrote the POA may say, um, and this is more medical, but it may be they don't want to be resuscitated if in emergency situations. They don't want to be kept alive on life support. Well, that person who is that agent needs to know those things, but also has to be willing to do and make sure that your wishes are happening. And sometimes, depending on who that person is, they may say, you know what, they want the hospitals to do whatever it is they can do to save you, right? So you got to make sure that that person understands what your wishes are and can comply with your wishes. And then if you don't have a POA, right? If you don't have a POA, get help and get guidance. Schedule a consultation with me today. The link is in the description, and let's get it done. But whatever you do, don't wait. Believing that you have more time and a situation arises, and you don't have a POA in place. I started today's training stating I get call after call about people needing a POA because they need to be able to make decisions for someone, but the person is not physically or mentally able to sign the POA. You want to make sure that your wishes happen, but you also want to make sure that the people who have to care for you have what they need and can make the decisions necessary to care for you based on your wishes. So if this information has been helpful, please subscribe to my channel and be sure to turn notifications on so you don't miss a thing. If you are in need of personal or business strategy, definitely let's talk about it. If you are in need of wills, powers of attorney, or life insurance, let's talk about it. Again, the links to schedule consultations are in the description. Don't wait, right? Too often we think, oh, I don't need that today. And everybody has a story where if it didn't happen to them personally and close to them, they know of a story where somebody just went off to work and either they didn't come back because there was a fatal accident, or they didn't come back because they wound up in an accident, not fatal, but they're in a hospital and they're in a place where they can't make a decision. So it is something that you need to do. And once you get it done, you can check that off the list, right? You can absolutely check it off the list. So just don't wait. Always, always, always remember to give yourself some grace. A lot of this stuff wasn't taught, right? A lot of times people are fearful. A lot of times people want to avoid taking care of things that need to be taken care of, right? So give yourself some grace on that and then get it done. Keep striving. Never give up on you and invest in you. I promise you, it is the best investment that you will make. Until next week, have a great weekend. Peace. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Be sure to join me for the private online Q&A immediately following. The link is in the description. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you never miss this opportunity. Thank you again, and I will see you on the other side.